Our natural world is in crisis. Join the conversation today.
You can look up what's called the utility death spiral. So utilities talk about this all the time. The general public doesn't realize that when people are billed for their utility bills, about 80% of your gas bill is a charge for infrastructure development, not for the gas. So $4 out of $5 you're paying them is to pay for pipes. And if they don't continue to lay pipes every year, they don't get paid that $4 out of $5. It's very hard to imagine a business model in which you take 80% of the money out. But that's essentially what we're proposing to do in these city ordinances, 31 of them in California, and including 2 counties that have either banned or significantly restricted the expansion of gas infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that's their business. Their business is to build gas infrastructure every year. As soon as they stop building new gas infrastructure, they lose 80% of their revenue. And that leads into a dramatic death spiral where they don't have enough money, so they have to charge more for the gas, a lot more, like 4 or 5 times more.
Wow.
No one wants that gas at that price.
Right.
So then they collapse where people don't want it, and it accelerates people removing themselves from the gas infrastructure.
And at the same time, the price of electricity and solar and all of these other technologies innovations is going, well, it is going down, as you said already, I mean, drastically, and can only continue to do so. So that's a pretty good argument against those sort of naysayers who are like, well, electricity is way more expensive than gas, like blah, blah, blah. Well, you just explained why.
Gas is a shell game. Gas is where they get 40-year bonds, and now you're paying them every year for the next 40 years for infrastructure that's going to be turned off in the next 10 to 15 years. And so they have humongous risk of stranded assets, of basically money that will not get paid back to the bondholders. So right now, natural gas is at a tipping point in the country. At conferences, they're talking about this. In utility newsletters, they're talking about this, about how natural gas digging has not been profitable since 2009. They continue to have investments that people are trying to make in the natural gas fracking because they think a technological innovation is going to just finally make it profitable. But they continue to play a shell game of bringing in new investment money. So our fracking boom is not actually profitable. And the infrastructure, and the utility bill side of it, quickly falls apart when you stop buying new natural gas, or we start limiting the new pipelines around the country. A lot of pipelines have been turned down. That's a huge amount of money for a company to get paid $60 billion to put in a pipeline. That's a nice sale.
Yeah.
And if no one's buying it, these businesses, their stock value tanks. So I'm optimistic about a rapid shutdown in the fossil fuel industry.
Yeah. Building the future. Green building in the new millennium. Brought to you by Sustainable Homes of the Future. Join in.